Hi, and welcome to the Law Simplified, the world's largest independent online law school platform. I'm your instructor, Shavin Bandaranaike. On more occasions than I'd care to recollect, I have told my fast track and masterclass students, as well as those of you who have reached out to me on this YouTube channel, as well as the different platforms the Law Simplified is disseminated on, that a law degree and a qualification, an academic qualification, as much as a professional one in law, is much more about how you think than what you know. If you take that sentiment literally, what might be absorbed from your perspective is that you really don't need to study all that hard as long as you are able to formulate ideas fruitfully. But in reality, it's a bit of both. But there's one secret sauce, so to speak, one very particular attribute that most students, be it those who are really articulate in their understanding of the law, or those who are pragmatic and very logical in the way things operate, might miss out on. And over the years, having taught hundreds, if not thousands of students, both directly and indirectly, through the pre-recorded courses on the online law school platform, or even on a one-on-one basis through the fast track or masterclass programs, I've tried to impress this upon students globally. This video is intended to package my understanding of that secret sauce, that one attribute that tends to elude most students, even the brightest among those who have succeeded in law. Not to say that they haven't succeeded, but that they could have done even better with this one thing in place. And I'll try to distill this notion into one particular word to simplify this idea. Perspective. What do I mean by this? The most successful students from an academic perspective, and subsequently in the context of their career, are able to put into perspective a situation, a scenario, or a circumstance in a manner that most, if not no one else, could. On one particular occasion, some time ago on this very YouTube channel, and for those of you who are part of my fast track and masterclass programs might be aware of this as well, I impressed upon this idea that law is less about the things which are binary and much more tessellated and grayscale. The example I give for this, and I often quote this ad nauseum, is that if someone asks you what the opposite color of black or what the opposite color of white is, the immediate sentiment, the gut reaction is to say, if someone says black, to say white, and if someone says white, to say black. But in reality, a law student and a legal professional should look at this in a much more tessellated manner, in the grayscale, so to speak. And the opposite color of any color is every other color. This idea that you look at circumstances differently to others is what holds a legal professional apart from any other professional. And from the perspective of a university or an institution, an examination or an assessment, that is what your examiner, that is what your employer, and that is what society expects from you. The fact that you are able to put perspective or a new dynamic into the scenario or the situation that you're presented with. Now, granted, it might be easier said than done. It's easy for me to sit here and impress upon you that this is what you need to incorporate. And to include that in your life overnight is not possible. It takes time, it takes effort, it takes practice. And if I may be so harsh, unfortunately, there are some circumstances where you might not get it at all. That does not mean that you won't succeed in law. It just means that there are aspects of it that you might fundamentally not be able to wrap your head around it. The study of law and the profession itself is just like any sport. You have athletes that succeed, you have athletes that are mediocre, and you have athletes that fail. And the way in which you approach this, the way in which you approach the profession and the study of law as well, has to accommodate for those variables and those possibilities. But knowing that this is what is looked for in you, the fact that perspective is what is anticipated, means that you can foresee where you need to improve as well. And that was the intention of this video. That being said, until the next time that we meet, have fun, stay safe, and as always, obey the law.